Namaskar. Welcome to Ahar Arogya Adhyatma, the light of Samskara. Today we have Dr. Purnima Krishnamurthy. She is the Director and Chief Consultant of Prajna Kutira, a unique Ayurvedic Panchakarma Rejuvenation Center called Abhijna International Academy of Ayurveda and Yoga at Mysuru. She is a professor and medical superintendent of Kaveri Ayurvedic College, and she has several research papers to her credit, and she has won many awards, and she is a member of Mind Body Spirit Society of India, and her personality is well known and her services are well recognized all over Mysore and other places. Today, welcome Dr. Purnima. Namaskar. We would like to know about the...
Namaste, madam.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks for having me over on this show.
Thank you so much. Let us talk about what Ayurveda offers for the infertility. And first, let us start with the normal pregnancy. Please explain to us and then we'll proceed.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a very pertinent topic of the day because, having a good progeny is so important in today's day and age and in this scenario. In this context, if we are talking of infertility, infertility refers to the biological inability of a person to contribute towards conception. Okay. It could also be an inability to take the pregnancy to completion also and not give way in the middle. This refers to infertility, ma'am. And it can be seen, the incidence of this can be seen largely, say about men contributing to 30% of its reason for infertility, women about 30%, 10% both together, about 25% from both of them together or without any reason, and about 5% for reasons that they do not live in the same city or the time not being convenient for each other. So each one of them contribute. Each one of them contribute
when
to
you
this.
Spoke about the contribution of the husband and the wife, I remember long back, people used to think that if they don't get children, it is the fault of the woman. And that's why the men used to get married again and again, and then they never used to get children, forgetting that they are contributing for the infertility. So you have to clarify that to the people.
Very true, ma'am.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So as you asked me just now, what is like, to conceive normally? That was how you opened the question. So every month a woman releases an ovum. And in that secretory phase, when the ovum is released from the ovaries, actually, in actuality, at birth, there are about what we call as oogenesis, at least about 2 million follicles in a girl, a baby, and then about 40,000 at puberty, and about 400 ovums at the age of puberty. Despite that, there is like lack of healthy ovums. So during this period of ovulation, when the ovum meets with a healthy sperm, the fertilization happens, as you know very well, at the fallopian tube site, and then it proceeds to form a healthy pregnancy. That's how pregnancy happens. And when there is an inability for this to happen, then it is called infertility.
And what about the semen, and what about the number of sperms in the men?
Ma'am, at least a normal healthy sperm, as we call, has to be anywhere between 60 to 120 million. Much as one single sperm ends up fertilizing an ovum, so much of it is needed. But in today's situation, we do see a lot of cases where spermatogenesis may not happen at all, or there is there are variety of conditions that lead to infertility in men. As we said, about 60 to 120 million per ml, with about 80% motility, and the quality and the quantity being at least about 3 to 5 ml of seminal fluid is essential.
Fluid.
But
Yes.
there are abnormal conditions wherein we call as aspermia, or
Yes. Yes.
where, or yeah, azoospermia, where there are
Azoospermia.
absence of sperms at all, or stenospermia, wherein there is diminished motility of the sperms,
Motility.
or
Yes.
teratospermia, wherein there is there's the morphology of the sperm isn't
It
okay at
changed.
all, or neurospermia, wherein there are dead sperms, or oligospermia, wherein the sperm count is below 10
Number
or
is
20
less. Yeah.
million. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these are different conditions which can lead to infertility or poor quality of semen in men.
Oh,
And in
very.
women also there are various conditions, as we know, that they may not, it could be like an anovulatory
Hmm.
cycle,
Hmm.
or many a time the pH of the vagina is not good, or there is a
Good.
congenital anomaly of the genitalia itself,
Okay.
or
Okay.
there is a tubal block, or there
Okay.
is a pelvic inflammatory disease,
Hmm.
cervicitis,
Hmm.
endometriosis, or simple hormonal imbalance, or usage of contraceptives in
Hmm.
people who
Yes.
really don't want to conceive for some time, and
Conceive.
that taking its toll on the hormonal
Yeah. Yeah.
imbalance. And
Imbalance.
mainly in today's scenario, the polycystic ovarian disease, or
Yeah.
the
PCOD, PCS.
anti-Mullerian,
Yeah.
yeah, or the
Yes.
anti-Mullerian hormone, which
Hmm.
it could be deficient. So
Okay.
all these things can contribute to this, but the main cause in both men and women in
Women.
today's day and age is this big buzzword called stress.
Okay, okay. Now you said it is the stress. So how does this lifestyle change or alteration in their mind and their stress, it contributes and it has a toll on the and their infertility. Why does it occur? Please explain to us.
Ma'am, it is a very simple thing for people to know that stress is something that is shaking our existence today.
Yes,
If
yes.
pollution is shaking our material front,
Hmm,
this buzzword called stress is
hmm.
shaking our existence. Even a
Yes.
kindergarten child today say it is stressed, isn't it? And
Yes, 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 yes.
and people who are getting into this big bandwagon called stress can
Hmm,
come under anxiety, frustration, despair, antagonism, or whatever. Perhaps it is something to do with their inner conflict also, for whatever we
yes,
know.
yes.
And even people can today get stressed for good things also. Even a wedding in the
Okay.
family can stress them. Something bad can also stress. People
where
can get
where you have
stressed.
to
So
actually enjoy, and then they get stressed.
exactly. So anything can trigger stress. And in our day-to-day life, small little stressors do rule every one of us. Like,
Yes.
for instance, your car battery is dead when you're just about to go to a meeting, or a colicky baby to pacify at home, or bills to pay, or a boss to please, whatever it is. There are small stressors in everyone's life. But
Hmm.
when this becomes an overload of stress, the body becomes so vulnerable that the resistance goes down, and it
Hmm.
makes a way for very many diseases. The first thing that can happen is the mind instigates the hypothalamus in the brain, which can release a cascade of chemicals, and
Hmm.
that in turn acts on the endocrine system, which is also called the ductless system, which can shoot a lot of chemicals and toxins as well as hormone directly into the bloodstream, and they do not know or have a way out of the body, so they just go on and on in the circulation, and whichever part of the body is vulnerable, they exhibit themselves there as a disease. So in
Okay.
case of infertility, if the genitourinary system is the weak part of the body, then
Hmm.
it can start with menstrual irregularities and polycystic ovaries and altered blood sugar levels. And again, the anti-Mullerian hormone can go haywire. So all this can happen, and that will lead to other causes of infertility in men, in women. Sorry. And then in men, there could be, like, again, the spermatogenesis can get hampered, and also there can be erectile dysfunction or lack of libido. So all of these things put together can become a very big causes for infertility, ma'am.
Okay. When we say lifestyle, apart from the stress, even the other food habits and other, the
Definitely.
liquids that are taken also can have a effect. So, what are the things, according
Exactly.
to Ayurveda, what are the do's and the don'ts?
Ma'am, firstly, when Ayurveda talks about a healthy pregnancy or having a good progeny, it talks of four things. The
Hmm.
four things are Rutu, Kshetra, Ambu, and Bija. Rutu means the
Ah,
right season.
okay.
Like just like how if you have to sow a seed, you need to
Okay.
have the right season to sow it. And
Yes.
similarly, in case of a woman's body, the right rutu or the period of ovulation has to be right. The kshetra, that is the fertile field in the land, has also to do with the fertile growth of a flora or
Yes.
fauna.
Yeah.
Similarly, the uterus has to be very fertile. The kshetra
Yes.
also has to be very fertile. And then
Yes.
the ambu, or the nourishment that you give to the land when you sow a seed, or the nutrition that the mother as well as the fetus gets, is also very important. And
Yes.
finally, the bija, or the seed, that also the ovum
The
or the
sperm.
sperm has to be healthy. For
Yes.
all the Rutu, Kshetra, and Ambu Bija that Ayurveda talks about,
Hmm.
it is very essential that both the partners are in good health, and for
Hmm.
that they'll have to have a very sattvic life, in just
Yes.
in case they want to
Yes.
have a good progeny or give a good element to the society.
Hmm.
And for that, their lifestyle definitely has to be good, to start with
Yes.
food, basically. And when we talk about food, and your channel calls itself ahara and arugya, let me deliberate on this word ahara, man.
Hmm.
Ahara has two syllables, ah and ra. Ah
Okay.
means whatever from outside.
Hmm.
Her and r means
Hmm.
that goes inside. So whatever
Okay.
goes from the outside world to the
Hmm.
inside of a person has to be considered as ahara. If you
Okay.
if you if you think on those lines, then
Hmm.
whatever you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you feel, as well as whatever you smell, becomes
Huh.
ahara.
Wow.
In this definition, if we consider whatever goes from the external world to the inside of you is ahara, then just imagine that your attitude towards life, what you think of, what you hear, see, everything has to be very sattvic,
Yes. 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 And
including
here,
what you
yeah.
actually, yeah,
Yes.
what
Yeah.
including what you eat. So it's not just what we eat is ahara, but all the other senses contribute to the real
And
ahara
food,
that goes
food
into
to
your
your
system.
thought, that also is
Exactly.
important. So the
Exactly.
mind as well as what you take to the stomach, both are
Yes.
very
And when,
important.
yeah, and when you're conscious about this, then your lifestyle is also definitely going to be really great. Like
Hmm.
you're active, and a person who is really wanting to have a good progeny, takes care
Hmm.
of himself, not get into bad lifestyle and bad habits like alcoholism and smoking or drug
Excellent.
abuse or any such
Yes.
things,
Yes.
which are
Yes.
very important for a healthy pregnancy. So lifestyle, food, ahara, and vihara, both, as we say, is
Yes.
very, very crucial. And
Yes.
also rest, because our Ayurveda talks about Trayopastamba, which is ahara, nidra, and abramacharya. Food
Hmm.
is important, so also is good sleep and rest.
Sleep. Yeah.
Unless the body understands that it needs to rest and heal itself, all
Hmm.
the hormones in the body, all the faculties can go haywire, and that can
Hmm.
result in the Rutu Kshetra Ambu Bija not being competent enough. Because
Right.
in Ayurveda, it is said that a healthy Artava looks like Shasha Asrik Pratimam Tat, means it looks like the color of the blood of a rabbit.
Okay.
Only then it can produce a good ovum. And
Yeah.
in men, the somatic fluid is described as spatikabham dravam snigdham madhuram madhugandicha, means it has to be crystal clear. Spatikabham, dravam, it should be liquid. Snigdham, unctuous. Madhuram, it has to be sweet in taste and has to have a madhura gandha also. If these two things are proper, then it will result in a healthy pregnancy. Otherwise, much as they are potent enough, the sperm count is good, morphology is good, and motility is good, it may not result in a healthy pregnancy. Here we
Yes,
are not looking at just pregnancy but a healthy pregnancy.
excellent, excellent. And what exactly is the treatment or the management in Ayurveda for such people who have gone astray?
Ma'am, firstly, we'll have to talk of mind management,
Okay,
which is so
very
important
important.
that we, yeah, because much as we do any therapy in terms of panchakarma, as Ayurveda says, one has to know how to manage the faculty of mind to be able
Mind.
to keep the hormone under balance. Then
Okay.
Ayurveda also talks about dinacharya and rutucharya, which is like going according to the biological clock and following the biological rhythm, like raising at Brahmi Muhurta, inculcating a bit of healthy habits like yoga and pranayama in their routine. All this can lead to a healthy body, healthy mind, as well as a healthy progeny.
Very nice.
And going further, Ayurveda talks about regular cleansing of the body with Panchakarma therapies, because Ayurveda talks about swasthasya swasthya lakshanam. A healthy person has to undergo Panchakarma regularly to cleanse the body and keep the three doshas, because much as the modern science talks about various factors that are contributing to infertility, Ayurveda talks only about three things: Tridosha Dushti, and Kavai Gunya, which is the blockage of all the organs, and the Dushti of the faculty of the mind. So if Ayurveda's approach can be towards Panchakarma therapy, where anyone can cleanse their body before going in for pregnancy, like we do. You have heard about Garbha Samskara and people
Yes,
taking
yes.
sessions of counseling before
Before
becoming
becoming
pregnant
pregnant.
pregnant for both of them, rather, then they can be induced to think on these lines as having a healthy ahara, healthy vihara, and then plan pregnancy, because pregnancy should always not be by chance but has to be by choice.
By choice. Yes, yes. Very nice. And that's why,
Yeah,
our ancestors used go to pray and go to the temple and ask, and they
exactly.
used to lead a very pious life, and the mind used to be very nice, and that's how they used to get the good progeny. And
Exactly.
today, the problem is many of them are their screen time has increased. The whole night they're looking into their mobile or something, and then now today it is found that 65% of the infertility is because the men not sleeping well and keeping
Exactly.
awake. So all are very important, like soil
Yeah,
and the seed theory. The soil, that is the mother womb and the ovum, has to be good. The seed is the sperm, as well as the mind of the person has to be good. And unless all these things are there, I mean, you cannot have a good progeny. And rightly you stress upon the smoking and the drinking and the drugs, and they are really destructive. And in fact, Sarvanya says, ವ್ಯಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದೇಹವು ಮಸನವನ್ನು ಕಾಣುವುದು. And that means, their progeny also is finished. Their next generation is not there. And this is scientifically proved. So I think our ancestors knew all about it. So finally,
exactly.
what would you like to advise to the younger generation?
Well, I would definitely tell them to have a great lifestyle and be mindful about their eating, because jo kave tan wo bhave man is what Kabir said. We are what
Okay.
we eat. So
Yes.
when we know what, when, why, and how to eat,
Mm.
then,
Okay.
you know, as I said, eating simply doesn't mean from the mouth. It is through all our senses, and
Right.
be mindful of our lifestyle, our exercise, our rest, basically, how many hours of good quality sleep we can give to ourselves. Then I think health can be ours, because no doctor can give anybody health. Doctors can only advise or give medication. Health and wellness has to be achieved by an individual himself.
With the disciplined life.
Exactly. Exactly. Once that is done, when people are really mindful about their own health, then I think why infertility, any disease can be kept at bay.
Yeah, yeah. So very nice, It's really wonderful. I think our ancient people, through the Ayurveda, they have given the best to avoid the infertility and to have the good progeny. And in the younger generation, if they can imbibe that knowledge and they follow the disciplined life, and then they can definitely have a good progeny.
Yes,
So
and
thank you very much, Purnima, for explaining so beautifully about
thank you,
infertility.
ma'am.
We will have many more sessions from you to know the further about what
Definitely.
Ayurveda has got to offer to the younger generation. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Okay.
Thank you, madam. Namaste.
Yeah.